I am delighted now to welcome one of the inspiring leaders that teaches in one of Alberta's schools, Rin Lawrence. Rin is a diversity consultant for sexual orientation, gender identity, and expression, and has been a teacher since 2013 in 2 Alberta school districts. He's chair of Edmonton Public Teachers Local 37, Diversity, Equity, and Human Rights Committee, and has all kinds of other things going on, but to make sure he's got lots of time at the mic, I'm going to ask Rin to come up to the podium now.
Thank you, Carla. Why is public education so important? I have many answers to this question. All of them center around diversity inclusion. With the recent announcement, I believe these thoughts are well-timed. I believe in the power of telling stories, and in front of this microphone, I could tell you stories all afternoon about how inclusion is the most essential part of education. But with 4 minutes, I'll share a handful in short form and you can fill in the details. Public education is a necessity to the family that came to the school for the first time because a staff member spoke their language and they were able to be truly heard. To the family who was invited to share their braiding skills, beading skills, cooking skills, or other mastery in a classroom. The family who was valued for their knowledge of the land and its stories in an elementary assembly. Public education is a necessity to the staff member who came out, who transitioned on the job site and was held with regard. The staff member who was tapped on the shoulder for leadership and recognized for their skills without bias. The staff member whose mind works outside the norm of traditional processes and produces creative, innovative, and stellar ideas. The staff member who is celebrated for their achievements, not for their body that functions differently. Public education is a necessity to the student who no longer feels isolated because they found community in their school's Gender and Sexuality Alliance. The student who found their voice and empowerment through Black history teachings, knowing that they are descendants of kings and queens. The student whose prayer space was proactively provided without them having to ask. The student who saw themselves represented in the staff members around them, looked to their teacher and saw their identity represented back to them as a successful professional. The student who saw a future for themselves because of those staff members, their identity, their actions, their support, and their undying advocacy. The student who did not take their own life because they were truly seen and heard. I do not say this lightly. Inclusion, public education saves lives. These are stories I witnessed, heard, or experienced. But what about you? This is our time to envision the future of public education. This is the time to use your voice, tell your stories, and stand for the public education system you want for our students, staff, and families. Today, I stand for a public education system that recognizes diversity, but more than that, I stand for a public education system that values each person because of the color of their skin, because of their ethnic, racial, cultural, or religious background, because of their gender identity, their gender expression, their sexual orientation, because of their physical, neurological, or cognitive disabilities or divergence, because of their relationship with the land and its history, because they are human. public education system that cherishes each person, relentlessly pursues equity for each experience, and holds genuine significance in each stunningly unique identity. Make some noise if you stand for it too.
I want to repeat one line from Rin's amazing speech that really hit home, and that is that public education saves lives. Thank you for those incredibly important words.